So hey folks, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we are going to run our generative AI app in like you can call, we can use our Anaconda. We will use Visual Studio Code, and we are going to use Google AI Studio. Okay, so it's mostly surely on Google AI Studio. Previously on our another video, we have seen like okay how to use the Vertex AI and using Hugging Face actually token and model. Okay, now this time it should be just the token from Google AI Studio, and it should be good to go. Now talking about here, so what you can do is first of all you can go for like okay or Anaconda. You can create some sort of environment of your own, and for this I'm just creating like I've created a new environment. Great, and I'm just going for the VS Code. And before going there, I'm just going to create a new folder which can be our Gen AI app testing. Great. Now I'm just going to open the VS Code, and for sure then open within this folder. So let's go for this one. Let's look for generative AI. Okay, save. Great, here it is. So within the folder we're here. Okay, great. Now you may say like okay, what are the things we need to do right now? So there are a lot of things for sure we can do, but first of all we also need to use the Google AI Studio, right? So what you can do is go for anything like okay let me just go for here. I don't think it should be okay. Search for Google AI Studio, and it should be something like that, and setting to Google AI Studio. I'm just using okay. Great, no problem. And my goal is to basically look for the token, right? Okay, here in our previous videos you saw like how we used our different models from here, and also the tokens, how it helps and so on, right? And now what I'm going to do is look for documentation, stream runtime library, do the model, prompt category, change log. Okay, let's look for this one, privacy building. Great. Okay, 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 we just need the API key, right? So where should we look for that? Now we are in prompt one, right? We just look for get API key. Okay, great. Now okay, let's create an API key. We're just going to create something. So we had to like earlier we used the Vertex AI and used Hugging Face, but this time it's totally going to be like yeah, I'm just going to save it, and this time it's like the Google AI Studio, and it should be free. Okay, now where should we save that? First of all, I'm going to create an environment folder, and if you don't know, like in the environment folder what we do is we just basically save all of our like secret keys, right? So that and we don't pass that like in general in the production what we do is we do pass the code in GitHub, right, or any other platform, but we do use these keys, right? So what we do is we do save that in the environment variable, and later we refer that in our code, but we don't send these environment folders in our GitHub, so that like if that's sent, like anyone can use our environment I would say is the API tokens, right? And after the video, I'm going to for sure delete every token. So yeah, if you can see that, you can't use that as well. No problem with that, but just for the reference, I'm going to use this one. And first of all, my goal is to like, let's give it a name, Google API key. No problem, this is totally on us, what how we want to deal with it. Control S, that should be good. So we have just saved an API key. Great. Now my goal is to like create a GenAI app.py. Right now, great. So earlier in your I would say the previous video, you have seen how we can use Google Vertex AI and the code, right? So if I just look for the code, here it was. Let's go for this one. I believe it was for the 7 billion. I did make some changes to this one. But we also don't need these kind of things like installing the Hugging Face so on. But this time it's going to be purely an app. So there's some requirements we need to like recommend files we have to go for. Let me just go for that. And I'm first of all, prior to that, let me just create this one, requirements.txt. Right. So what will the requirements? The requirements are going to be Streamlit this time, and Google Generative AI and Python.env. So this is for the .env to manage that one. Okay, great. But yeah, you can also manage the environment using Node as well. No problem with that. Okay, we have just got 3, and generative AI is something. And in this app, first of all, we have to load the .env. I don't know if you can see. I believe it should be. Let me just go for this one. Appearance, zoom in a bit. I believe zoom it. Okay, I believe you can see that. Please let me know if you are able to do that. So first of all, it should be like from .env import load. Okay, great. Now just import OS, because using the OS we are going to actually use our key. Okay, then import google.generative AI as GenAI, then import as st. Great. And then we're going to just load this one .env as a whole. Great. And then interestingly, what we have to do is we have to now load the key, because using the key configure we are going to use the models, right? The models we have in the Google AI Studio. Okay, let's go for that. Get env, and then to mention the API key variable we have set. I believe this should be exactly sort of like this, Google API key, right? Yeah, great. Now talking about the other one, what we can do is earlier in our video, I believe, just go for this one, not this one. This is something we did because we were using Hugging Face. But talking about this one, if we just take this one and we just paste this one, it's not going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be almost like some sort of related. So input, output, these are not going to be here. We're just going to write the model, but I could have written it like it's in but yeah, just paste it so that you understand like they are actually the same. And as we're using the GenAI, basically this is configured, this GenAI using the key, so it is the source of power for us. So we're just going to use the GenAI every time. Okay, GenAI dot generative model. Great. And what kind of model do we need here? Now you may say like, okay, you can go for a lot of ones, a lot of these, but there are a lot of things basically to be or others. And now you can say like we can see very less number of models out here, right? But there is a code which you can use to see like how much or how many models we do have existing. Okay, so how we can do that is like, for example, let me just make it a comment. And this one for model in GenAI dot list models print model name. So let me make it Control S and then go for the terminal. Okay, let me just run this one, Python, and it should be GenAI app. Let's see if it works. Okay, it worked perfectly, great. So we can just see there are lots of models right now, right? Okay, so maybe like as we're working with the text, maybe you can do the text, you can work with the text one, no problem. But provision, I believe uh, Gemini 1.5 Pro latest can be good one for us. Okay, we can just write it down manually as well. Okay, let me just make it a comment, and I'm just going to write it like check. Sorry, this is the one I believe the issue happens for the models. Great. Now we're just going to take this out and Control X, Control V. Okay, anything, any models can be used, but just let me just use this mini 1.5, sorry, 5 Pro latest. Great, and then it's easy. It's just going to be response, and using the model as mentioned, generate content. It's easy, you see, done. And then we're going to see the response in the form of text. Okay, not like any kind of models or others like a node or whatever, like in not in JSON format, whatever. So we're just going to eager to do it in text, right? Great. Now we have to set the front end. Okay, so we are using Streamlit basically for that one. So for the front end, it should be exactly the same one we have earlier worked, but it should be basically using the this one st. Okay, let's just paste this one, st.set page config, page title should be q, and a demo spacing Gemini LLM application input. It should be key as input and as the question. Great. That should be done. And as mentioned, like if the submit, we also want to work with the submit option, like if it's empty or not. So yeah, give me response. Okay, I believe, oh yeah, for the Hugging Face is basically Gemini, sorry, Gemma, or you can call it Gemma, whatever it is. But for the Google AI Studio, it's basically Gemini. In general, right now we call it Gemini as a whole, but it was earlier it started with Gemini. Okay, no problem with that, and I believe it should be good to go. Now let me just go here and let me just clear this one and ask for Python AI.py. Let's see if it works or not. I believe there's some issues. Okay, is it GenAI app.py, right? What's the issue? Oh, we haven't installed those requirements. The pip dot. Oh yeah, that's an issue. I believe first of all we have to do that. There are a lot of the things that's going to be existing. These are already existing, no problem with that, right? And then as we're done with this one, we provided the environment variable, right? Perfect. Okay, now let me just clear this one. Oh yes, it should not be run as Python. That's my mistake. I just forgot. I was working with Jupyter Notebook and that's why I made a mistake, right? And it should be Streamlit run Gen AI app. Great. Oh, for the model list print model name. So let me just go for this one, and I believe the issue is here. uh, Let me just remove this one as a whole. I'm not sure though. Let me just Control C. It should be Control S just to check it a while. Okay, GenAI is still done. As for the Google AI key, we have Gemini response, no problem. GenAI generative model content question response text question. Okay. I believe it should be working. Let's see if there are any issues. No. AI app.py. It can still, so oh yeah, it worked perfectly. So write a poem on pandas. This is what I did test earlier. So this time we're using Pro 1.5 Pro. Like write a paragraph on or Gemini, right? 1.5 Pro model of Google. I don't know if how it's going to work, but let's see. Now the problem or the dealing should be with, basically you see it's very fast, right? Iteration Google Gemini family large is it worked perfectly, right? It's far better than the response we got using Vertex AI, so it's better. Great. You see, like, because it's like Google AI Studio, so Google is maintaining that the model and so on. The Hugging Face is like the older one, right? Gamma one. So yeah, thank you so much. I believe, and if you have any questions, like you can ask, like how can we do that and so on. And you can, first of all, this is how I believe you can run any app, any generative AI app on your local system. Okay, so in our previous video we have seen how to do that in Vertex AI. Now you can use the 7 billion parameter one here as well, right? And this is how things should work. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and just hope to see you in the next video.